Welcome, Corey Quinn here. You've tuned in to a bonus episode of the Deep Specialization Podcast. For a limited time, every week, we're releasing a chapter of my new book, Anyone, Not Everyone, a proven system to escape founder-led sales. This is in addition to the weekly episode that we release every Wednesday. In case you don't know me, I'm a 17-year veteran of the agency space. I was recently the chief marketing officer at an agency called Scorpion. While there, we grew revenue from 20 million to 150 million. We also grew the sales team from 6 people to 100. We grew the company from 100 people to 1,000, and we grew the number of clients from 1,000 to 14,000. My passion is helping agency owners simplify their marketing and escape founder-led sales by becoming a vertical market specialist. I wrote this book because through my experience in scaling Scorpion and also working with my agency owner clients and interviewing many more on my podcast, this very podcast you're listening to, I've seen the awesome power of specializing in a vertical market can have in scaling. By listening to the book, I hope you embrace and deploy the strategies and tactics I share. If you want to get the full audiobook for free, you can go to anyonenoteveryone.com. That's anyonenoteveryone.com. It's available today. Now onto the episode. Chapter 7. Know your vertical competition. Study the methods of your competitors and do the exact opposite. David Ogilvy, founder of Ogilvy and Mather, and the father of advertising. Nobody hires your agency in a vacuum. They choose you from an array of competing options. Why evaluate your competitors? HubSpot research found 90% of marketers report positive impacts on their business from using competitive research as a part of their strategy. The argument for focusing on your competitors is you'll stay on top of how others in your category are innovating their services, positioning their brands, and satisfying their clients. The argument against focusing too heavily on your competition is that it takes your eye off the most important aspect of your business, your clients. You know, the ones paying you to solve their problems. Focusing too much on your competitors can cause you to make reactive strategic decisions, such as launching a new service line or changing contract terms. These changes might prove unproductive because they aren't grounded in solving real-world problems for your clients. Just because your competition launches a new feature doesn't mean that you should too. The line I take is that it's healthy to study your competitors so you can better understand the psychology of how and why your clients buy from you, as well as how and why they buy from the alternatives. Armed with this information, you can make better decisions about how to position and market your agency services in your vertical. Additionally, the competitive research you do in this chapter will inform the work in following chapters. Defining your vertical competitors. Knowing who your competitors are likely to be, as well as how they're positioning their agency services, products, and solutions, helps you experience what your buyers do when shopping for a new agency. Your vertical competitors are, number 1, businesses that clients choose when they don't choose you, and number 2, businesses your clients go to when they leave you. But it's even worse than that. Your biggest competitor probably isn't who you think it is. No, it's not the company across the virtual street selling the same service as yours, but packaged differently. Your biggest competitor is when your buyer chooses not to change what they're currently doing. In other words, it's when your buyer chooses to maintain the status quo, even if they're literally suffering daily by staying put. Authors Matthew Dixon and Ted McKenna found that anywhere between 40 and 60% of deals today end up stalled in a, quote, no decision limbo. Just like the folks sticking to their traditional cable subscriptions when there are better online streaming options, these buyers avoid changing because they don't want the inconvenience and effort of making a change. The problem is that your buyers, like all of us humans, are not quite fully rational beings. We fear change because it means stepping into the unknown. For many, it creates a fear of losing control and a possibility of failure. We have a cognitive bias called loss aversion, which says that the pain of losing is psychologically twice as powerful as the pleasure of gaining. So, what do? We stay in the comfort of the status quo. As the saying goes, better the devil you know than the devil you don't. But it's possible to overcome the status quo and beat competitors. Here are some success stories. So the company Slack was able to beat the status quo competitor of sending inter-office email. Airbnb was able to beat the status quo competitor of staying in hotels. And Netflix was able to beat the status quo competitor of going to the video rental store. Your buyer status quo is a competitor you'll need to get good at beating, especially if you don't want to rely solely on inbound leads to grow your business. Who wants to build a business that doesn't have control over its growth? More on outbound marketing in Chapter 14. The 3-step research process. This entire 3-step process, including the research and analysis, shouldn't take more than 3 hours to complete. Step 1, identify your competitors. Step 2, research your competitors. Step 3, document your findings. Step 1, identify your competitors. If you're the founder of your agency, you're probably familiar with your competitors. If you have any doubts, ask the folks on your sales team, if you have one, where your prospective clients go when they don't choose you. Next, ask your client success teams where clients go when they leave you. This quick research should give you a healthy list of competitors. If you need more ideas, hop onto Google and search using keywords related to your vertical and your agency services. For example, if you're a content marketing agency targeting higher education, you could search terms like, quote, content marketing for higher education, or, quote, content marketing for colleges. Look for agencies that are thought leaders and rank highly in the organic search results. Your current clients are another reliable source. Reach out to a few and ask them who they consider to be your competition. You only need 5 competitors for now. At least 3 of them need to be vertical specialist agencies, and the other 2 can be generalist agencies. Vertical specialist agencies exclusively or semi-exclusively serve buyers within a vertical market. For instance, a marketing agency that only serves hotels would be considered a vertical specialist. Generalist agencies serve a broad range of businesses. Access the competitor messaging worksheet in the companion workbook. At the top, you'll see 2 columns. Column 1 is vertical specialist and column 2 is generalist. Under vertical specialist, add the name of your top 3 most significant vertical competitors. Under generalist, write down your 2 most significant competitors that offer a similar service to yours but take a broad market approach. Before proceeding to step 2, share your list with your sales and client success leadership team to get their feedback and input. Step 2, research your competitors. Differentiation refers to the unique qualities, features, or advantages that a business uses to set itself or its products and services apart from its competitors. We're going to look at 4 key components of differentiation that your competitors use on their websites. The good news is finding out how your competition differentiates their business isn't hard to do. Just visit 2 specific pages on their website. Number 1, their homepage, and number 2, their services overview page or pages. The homepage is the most valuable piece of virtual real estate on an agency website. It gets the most traffic, and it also often creates the first impression that visitors form about the agency, its credibility, and its offerings. The homepage is where the founders and their marketing teams spend most of their time and effort optimizing the copy. The service overview page is where your competitor goes into greater detail about the features, attributes, and benefits of their services. This copy typically includes the problems they solve, unique selling points, social proof, and competitive advantages. Deep specialization pro tip. In terms of where to look for key messages on these pages, the higher up on the page, the more important the message. Why? The limited real estate on a web page, especially at its top, forces trade-offs. There's only one top of the page, so your competitors can't say everything about their services there. What they choose to put there is what they feel most aligns with their buyers, also known as your buyers. Document 4 key components of competitive differentiation. Number 1, key pains. Number 2, key benefits. Number 3, positioning. And number 4, proof points. Here's a brief overview of each. Key pains. Key pains are the target buyer's problems and the consequential impacts of those problems. You could easily imagine a list of 20 to 30 pains that any good agency solves for a buyer. But we're not looking for a laundry list of pains. Instead, zero in on the prominent pains your competitors mention on their websites. Here's a list of pains that an agency targeting law firms might have on its website. Not enough quality leads. Losing high-value cases to your competition. Not showing up on the first page of Google. Ineffective marketing resulting in either no leads or, worse yet, wrong-fit clients. A fragmented approach to marketing. Time-consuming marketing. Difficulty standing out in a crowded market. Deep specialization pro tip. As you do this research, keep an eye out for a new pain you're not using or a better way to articulate your buyer's pains. Key benefits. Benefits are the positive results that your competitors use in their marketing materials. Similar to key pains, any agency can create a long list of the benefits of working with them, but because there is limited space on the website, they have to choose which benefits to highlight. Note that features are the things a product does or its attributes. Benefits are the value and utility you get by having that feature. Here's an example using an iPhone. A feature is a 12 megapixel lens. The benefit is you take sharper photos. A feature is a 20-hour battery life. The benefit is charge your phone only once per day. A feature is satellite connection for SOS calls. A benefit is peace of mind when you're off the grid. Positioning. Positioning is shaping the perception of where you stand in the market. Good positioning distinguishes you and establishes your uniqueness. To use an example from the airline industry, let's compare Southwest Airlines with Delta Airlines. Southwest Airlines, their positioning is low cost, no frills, a la carte. Delta Airlines, their positioning is more around premium, it's an experience, and being all-inclusive. Both companies provide a similar service, but their positioning is quite different. Southwest Airlines appeals to the value-conscious customers, while Delta Airlines attracts customers who are willing to pay more for a better overall flying experience. Understanding how your competitors position themselves will help you define the, quote, white space in the market to claim. Strategically, it's better to position your agency so that it's unique. For example, if all the airlines are claiming to be the low-cost, no-frills, and a la carte airline, and you're saying the same thing about your airline, it'll be easy to ignore since it sounds like everybody else. Companies, products, and services that are perceived as the same are considered commodities. And the only thing you can compete on when you're selling a commodity is price. When all else is equal, the cheaper solution wins. As an agency owner, you want to avoid being perceived as a commodity. Here's a list of positioning-related messaging that an agency targeting law firms might have on its website. Everything your law firm needs when it comes to marketing, and that's an all-in-one positioning. Everything we do is customized to your needs, no cookie cutters here, and that positioning is around being customized. We are the largest provider. The positioning is around a size advantage. We're lawyers too. That positioning is around we won't try and sell you something that you don't need. In other words, we're one of you. We walk our talk. That positioning is around integrity. Law firm websites for only $200 a month. That positioning is around low cost. The only SEO agency for lawyers with a 94% retention rate. That positioning is around our clients stay with us and you will too. We'll work on creating your unique positioning in Chapter 8, but for now, look at your competitor's positioning and document it in the competitor messaging template in the companion workbook. Proof points. Proof points are the hardworking data points that support and substantiate your marketing claims. Or as positioning expert April Dunford says, the proof that you can deliver on the value you say you can. So which claim is more credible? Claim A, which says, we're the #1 home services marketing agency. Or claim B, we're the #1 home services marketing agency. 81 of our plumbing clients doubled their revenue in the last 12 months. Claim B uses evidence called a proof point to back up its claim that it's the #1 home services marketing company. Using proof points inspires confidence, establishes credibility, and helps overcome skepticism. Here are some more examples. If you make a claim that your reputation management service is the preferred choice by roofers, a proof point would be your 5-star reviews by roofers. If you make the claim that your websites are designed by award-winning graphic designers, a proof point would be the number and types of design awards your designers have received. If you make the claim that your podcast agency gets more booked guests, a proof point would be sharing the number and types of guests you get for your clients on average. Proof points turn marketing hype into believable statements of fact. Any agency can say whatever they want about how great their service is, but at the end of the day, how believable is it? Your claims become persuasive when you use objective, credible, and verifiable data to support them. Knowing what proof points your competitors use will help you better understand the proof points that your vertical buyers care about. The research process can also uncover areas where you may have gaps in proof points that could make your agency more credible. Proof points include awards from a credible source, client reviews and ratings, client success stories or case studies, data and statistics, expert endorsements, guarantees, press mentions, social media mentions, social proof, and testimonials. Here are some more examples of agency-specific proof points. 32 5-star reviews on Google. Our average client saves at least 15% in marketing costs in the first 60 days. Our, quote, "we've got you covered" guarantee protects you up to $1 million in losses. Our average client onboards in less than 10 days. Inc. 5000 winner. Average plumbing client grows by 41% annually. Step 3, document your findings. After you've added your 5 competitors' key pains, key benefits, positioning, and proof points to the competitor messaging worksheet, document your key takeaways, initial insights, and ideas for your own positioning. For example, you might notice most of your competitors focus their positioning on results or low cost. Maybe you're seeing an understanding of clients' marketing spend repeated as a key benefit. In the next chapter, you'll combine what you've learned about your vertical buyer and your competitors with what makes you truly unique to create your vertical positioning. Chapter takeaways. 90% of marketers see positive impacts from competitive research. Clients choose from a range of agency options, not just yours. Competitors are businesses that clients choose in your place or switch to after leaving you. Knowing your competitors helps you market and position your agency's brand. The most significant competitor might be a client's decision to maintain the status quo. Hey, Corey here. I hope you enjoyed that chapter of my book, Anyone, Not Everyone. If you want to get the full audiobook for free, you could do so right now by going to anyoneNotEveryone.com. That's anyoneNotEveryone.com.